The huge space station floated in the black emptiness of space. It was called the Core World Station, the heart of the Vexari Dominion. The Vexari were tall aliens with hard shells like insects. They had many arms and legs, sharp mandibles that clicked when they spoke, and bright compound eyes that glowed in the dark. They ruled over many worlds and thought they were the best in the galaxy. Deep inside the station was a big open area called the arena. It had high walls made of dark metal and bright lights that never went off. Rows of seats went up high, filled with thousands of Vexari. They came to watch fights, laugh at weak creatures, and feel strong. In the middle of the arena stood a clear glass cage. Inside the cage was a man. He was the last human anyone knew about. His name was Tae-min. He looked like any normal person from old Earth stories. Short black hair, brown eyes, and skin that was not hard like the Vexari shells. He wore simple gray clothes that were torn in places. He sat on the floor with his back against the wall. He did not move much. He just watched. The Vexari crowd made loud clicking sounds that meant laughter. They pointed their many fingers at him. "Look at the soft thing," one Vexari shouted. His voice came through speakers all around the arena. "No shell, no claws, no speed. How did his kind even last so long?" Another one laughed harder. "They say humans once ruled a small blue planet. Then they broke it themselves. Now only this one is left, a museum piece." Tae-min heard every word. He had been in stasis, frozen sleep, for a very long time. The Vexari found his pod drifting in space many years ago. They woke him up to study him, then to show him off. He learned their language fast by listening. He did not speak back, not yet. A female Vexari walked close to the glass cage. Her name was Jion. She was smaller than most Vexari warriors, with lighter green shell and careful movements. She worked as a maintenance engineer. Her job was to keep the station running, fix lights, clean air systems, check prison cells. Today she checked Tae-min's cage. She carried a small toolbox and scanned the glass for cracks. Jion looked at Tae-min through the glass. He looked back. His eyes were calm, not scared. Most prisoners cried or begged after a few days. This one did not. "Why do you not scream?" she asked quietly. Her mandibles clicked softly. She did not think he would answer. Tae-min stood up slowly. He was not tall, but he moved smooth, like he had practiced every step. "Screaming does not help," he said in clear Vexari speech. His voice was low and steady. Jion stopped her scan. She tilted her head. "You speak our words. How?" "I listen," Tae-min said. "I always listen." More laughter came. "Listen to the pet," someone yelled. "It learned tricks." Jion felt strange. She was used to weak captives who broke fast. This human was different. He looked at everything: the lights, the vents, the crowd, the guards. His eyes moved like he was making a map in his head. She finished her check and walked away. But she kept thinking about him. High above the arena, in a private box, the Dominion leaders watched. They were the biggest Vexari, with gold on their shells and many medals. The main leader was called High Commander Vexarkai. He had 6 arms crossed over his chest. "This human is boring now," Vexarkai said. His mandibles clicked in anger. "He just sits. No fight. No fear. We need better show." A smaller leader next to him spoke. "We can use him in the arena tomorrow. Give him nothing. Let the champion drones tear him apart. The crowd will love it." Vexarkai thought for a moment. "Yes. Make it public. Announce it now. The last human will face our machines, unarmed. No help. Let everyone see how weak the old species is." The announcement boomed through the station. Lights flashed red and blue. A big screen showed Tae-min's face. "Tomorrow at high cycle," the voice said, "the last human will enter the arena. He will fight our best drones. No weapons for him, only his soft skin and weak body. Place your bets. How fast will he die? The crowd roared. They clicked and waved their arms. Some made bets on seconds, others on minutes. No one thought he would live long. Guards pushed food through a small slot in the glass. It was gray paste. Taemin took it and ate slowly. He did not look worried. Jian was back in the lower decks, fixing a power line. She heard the announcement on her comm device. She paused. Something felt wrong. The human did not beg. He did not cry. When she talked to him, he answered like an equal. Not like prey. In another part of the station, a guard named Min-sok stood watch near the prison level. He was tall and strong, with dark blue shell. He had fought in many wars for the Dominion. He lost friends in those wars. Now he guarded cages. It was boring work. Min-sok looked at the screen showing Taemin. Soft skin, he muttered. They say humans are clever, but look at him. Just meat. Still, Min-sok remembered old stories. Humans built ships that crossed stars with no shells or claws. They survived ice and fire and sickness. Maybe there was something. Night came to the station. Lights dimmed a little. Taemin sat alone in his cage. He closed his eyes but did not sleep. In his mind, he went over everything he saw that day. The way the drones moved, the position of vents, the weak spots in the shields, the habits of the guards. He remembered Earth. Not the real one. He was born in a colony far away. Humans were small. Humans were slow. But humans never gave up. They found ways. A small smile came on his face. The first one in years. Outside the cage, a guard walked past. He saw the smile and laughed. Look, the human thinks something funny. Taemin opened his eyes. He looked straight at the guard. Tomorrow, he said quietly, we will see who laughs. The guard stopped. For a second, he felt cold. Then he shook it off and walked away fast. In the engineering bay, Jian finished her shift. She looked at the arena schedule on her pad. The fight was set. Drones against human. Easy win for drones. But she remembered Taemin's eyes. They were not empty. They were thinking. She turned off her light and went to rest, but sleep did not come easy. The station hummed around them. Thousands of Vexari dreamed of blood tomorrow. They dreamed of proving they were the strongest. They did not know the last human was ready. He had been ready for a long time. They mocked the last human until he fought back. The next day came fast on the core world station. The lights in the arena burned brighter than ever. Thousands of Vexari filled every seat. Their shells clicked together in excitement. The air smelled of hot metal and sharp chemicals. Big screens showed close-ups of the empty arena floor. In the center stood 3 champion drones. The drones were tall and sleek. Their bodies shone silver and black. Each had 6 sharp legs, energy blades on their arms, and glowing red eyes. Shields hummed around them, blue and strong. They were built to kill fast and clean. The Dominion used them to end rebellions on weak worlds. Today, they would end one soft human. High above, in his private box, High Commander Vexar Kai sat with his leaders. He held a small device to place bets. I give him 30 seconds, he said. The others clicked in agreement. Maybe 20, one added. Below, near the engineering bay, Jian watched on a small screen. She should be working, but she could not look away. Her mandibles moved slowly. She felt something strange, curiosity mixed with worry. Guards opened the glass cage. 2 of them pushed Taemin out. He walked alone to the arena floor. No chains, no armor. In his right hand they gave him one thing, a short metal rod. It was thin, not sharp, just a piece of scrap. The crowd laughed loud when they saw it. A toy for the pet, someone shouted. Break it over his head, another called. Taemin stopped in the middle of the floor. He looked up at the crowd. Then he looked at the drones. His face stayed calm. He held the rod loose, like it weighed nothing. A loud horn sounded. The fight began. The first drone moved first. It rushed forward on its 6 legs, fast as wind. Its blades lit up with blue fire. It aimed straight for Taemin's chest. Taemin did not run back. He stepped to the side, just enough. The blade missed by a hair. The drone turned quick, but Taemin was already moving. He ran toward a wall panel near the floor. The crowd laughed again. He runs like a scared bug. But Taemin did not run away. He slammed the metal rod into a small vent on the wall. Sparks flew. A loud pop came. The vent shot hot air out. Very hot. The drone chasing him ran right into the blast. Its front legs locked up. Metal joints hissed and smoked. It slowed. The second drone jumped in. It fired a pulse of energy from its chest. Taemin dropped flat. The pulse hit the floor where he stood. Black marks burned into the metal. He rolled, got up and ran again, this time toward the bright lights high above. Jian leaned closer to her screen. "What is he doing?" she whispered. Taemin threw the rod up hard. It hit one of the big spotlights. The light cracked. Then the whole row of lights flickered and went bright. Too bright. White light filled the arena. The drone's red eyes flashed. Their targeting systems blinked. For a second, they froze. Taemin used that second. He sprinted to the first drone, the one with hot legs. He grabbed a loose cable from its side. With quick hands, he pulled it hard. The drone sparked and shook. Its shield dropped for a moment. Taemin kicked its knee joint. It fell forward. The crowd stopped laughing. Now they made confused clicks. The third drone recovered first. It charged. Taemin picked up his rod from the floor. He did not swing it like a club. Instead, he used it to hook under a floor grate. He pulled. The grate came up. Under it was a power conduit, thick cables full of energy. Taemin jammed the rod into the cables. A huge spark jumped. The electricity arced up the rod and into the third drone. Its shield popped like a bubble. It staggered. The second drone fired again. This time, Taemin was ready. He rolled behind the fallen first drone. The pulse hit the broken drone instead. It exploded in a ball of fire and metal pieces. Sharp bits flew everywhere. One piece hit the second drone's eye sensor. It went blind on one side. Taemin stood up. Sweat ran down his face. Blood came from a small cut on his arm. But he breathed steady. He looked at the last drone, the second one, half blind and angry. It rushed him again. Taemin waited until the last moment. Then he jumped high, higher than the crowd thought a soft human could. He landed on the drone's back. With both hands, he pushed the rod into a weak spot behind its head, the place where wires met shell. He twisted hard. The drone screamed, a high electronic whine. It shook wild. Taemin held on. Sparks flew from its neck. Its legs buckled. Taemin rolled off just in time. Silence filled the arena. All 3 drones lay broken. Smoke rose from them. Taemin stood in the middle, breathing hard. The metal rod was bent now. He dropped it. It clanged on the floor. The crowd stared. No one clicked, no one laughed. Then one Vexari in the back started clapping his many hands. Slow at first. Others joined. Not many, but some. The sound grew. High Commander Vexar Kai stood up fast. His mandibles snapped shut. "A fluke," he shouted. "The machines failed. Bad luck." But his voice sounded thin. The crowd heard doubt in it. Jian turned off her screen. Her heart beat fast. She saw it clear now. Taemin did not win by strength. He won by seeing things others missed. He used the arena itself as a weapon. The vents, the lights, the floor, the drone's own power, he turned everything against them. In the guard room, Minsek watched the same fight on a big wall screen. "He cheated," he muttered. But even as he said it, he knew it was not true. The human followed no rules but his own. He thought fast. He adapted. Guards ran into the arena. They grabbed Taemin by the arms. He did not fight them. He let them take him back to the cage. As they passed the broken drones, one guard looked at Taemin with new eyes. Not anger, but something close to respect. Back in the cage, Taemin sat down. He wiped blood from his arm with his sleeve. He looked up at the glass. Through it, he saw Ji-yeon standing far away in the shadows. She did not move closer, but their eyes met. Taemin gave a small nod. Ji-yeon felt her mandibles tremble. She turned and walked away fast. Up in the private box, Vexarkai slammed his fist on the table. "This is not over," he said. "Tomorrow he fights real warriors, 5 of our best. No drones, no tricks. We will crush him." But their clicks sounded weaker now. Word spread fast through the lower decks. Workers talked in quiet voices. The human beat 3 drones. He used nothing but a stick. He smiled at the end. Min-sok stood outside the prison level. He looked at the cage door. Taemin sat inside, resting. The human looked tired, but not broken. Min-sok spoke low, so only Taemin could hear. "You think this changes anything?" Taemin looked up. "It changes something," he said. "It changes how they see me." Min-sok said nothing. He walked away. But he thought about the fight the whole way. Night came again. The station lights dimmed. In the cage, Taemin closed his eyes. In his mind he saw the next fight. 5 warriors, stronger, smarter, armed with real weapons. He breathed slow. He was ready. Outside in the dark halls, Ji-yeon walked to the tool room. She took a small scanner and a datapad. She hid them under her shell. She did not know why she did it. But she knew one thing. The last human was not weak. And tomorrow, the Dominion would learn that again. They mocked the last human until he fought back. The core world station felt different after the fight. The halls were quieter. Workers moved slower. Guards looked around more. Everyone talked in low voices about the human who broke 3 drones with nothing but a metal rod. In the lower decks, far from the bright arena, small groups gathered in tool rooms and air vents. They were not warriors. They fixed pipes, cleaned floors, ran cables. They were the ones the Dominion forgot most days. Now they whispered. "Did you see?" one worker said. "He used the lights, the vents, even the floor helped him." Another nodded fast. "Drones are perfect," they say, but he found cracks in them, like he knew them better. Ji-yeon walked past one of these groups. She heard every word. She kept her head down and her mandibles still, but inside, her thoughts raced. She had seen the fight up close on her screen. Taemin did not swing wild. He planned. Every move had a reason. Every second counted. She went to her small room in the maintenance wing. It was dark and narrow, full of tools and spare parts. She sat on her bunk and pulled out the datapad she hid under her shell. She opened files from the arena cameras. She watched the fight again. Slow this time. She paused at moments when Taemin looked at the walls, the ceiling, the drones. His eyes moved like he read a map no one else saw. "Why?" she asked the empty room. "Why does he not give up?" She knew the answer deep down. Humans were gone from most records. The Dominion said they died out because they were weak. But this one was still here, still fighting, still thinking. Ji-yeon made a choice. She stood up. She took a small toolkit, nothing big, just wires, a mini welder, and a scanner. She wrapped them in a cloth and tucked them inside her shell plates. Then she walked to the prison level. The halls were empty at this hour. Lights were low. Only a few guards walked slow rounds. Min-sok was one of them. He stood near the cage door, arms crossed. His blue shell looked darker in the dim light. Jian stopped in front of him. I need to check the cage systems, she said. Power fluctuations after the fight. Min-Sok looked at her long. Orders? Standard check, she lied. High Commander wants everything perfect for tomorrow. Min-Sok grunted. He opened the door panel with his key. Make it quick. Jian stepped inside the outer lock. The glass cage was right there. Taemin sat on the floor, back to the wall. He looked up when he heard her steps. She pressed the small talk button on the wall. I brought tools, she said quiet. Not much, but enough to fix small things. Or, make small things. Taemin stood. He walked close to the glass. Why help? Jian clicked her mandibles once, nervous. I saw the fight. You did not win by chance. You saw what we miss. Our machines are strong, but they follow rules. You do not. Taemin looked at her eyes. Rules can be broken, or used. She nodded slow. Tell me what you need. I can get more tomorrow. But tonight, this is all. Taemin thought for a second. A datapad with arena maps, power layouts, drone weak points if you have them, and something to hide small parts. Jian pulled the wrapped kit from her shell. She slid it through the food slot. Taemin took it fast and hid it under his torn shirt. Thank you, he said. Jian turned to leave. Then she stopped. They will send 5 warriors tomorrow. Real ones. Plasma lances, shields. No machines to trick. Taemin smiled small. Good. Machines are predictable. Warriors feel anger. Anger makes mistakes. Jian left without another word. Min-Sok watched her go. He did not say anything, but he saw the toolkit go through the slot. He saw Taemin hide it. He stared at the cage. Taemin sat again. He opened the kit quiet. He started looking at the tools with careful hands. Min-Sok spoke low. You think this helps? 1 engineer, a few wires, you will die tomorrow. Taemin did not look up. Maybe, but I will not die easy. Min-Sok laughed once, short and hard. You humans, always stubborn. My brother died in a war the Dominion started for nothing. They said it was for honor. It was for power. I guard cages now. I see the same thing every day. Strong ones break the weak ones. Taemin looked at him then. You lost someone, so did I, long ago. My colony, my family. Stasis took me before the end. I woke up here, alone. Min-Sok shifted his weight. And you still fight? Stopping means they win, Taemin said. They mocked us, called us soft, obsolete. If I stop, that becomes true. Min-Sok said nothing for a long time. Then he walked away. Not tonight. Morning came. The station woke up loud. Announcements played again. Today the last human faces our elite warriors. 5 against 1. No tricks allowed. Place your bets. The crowd filled the seats faster this time. They wanted blood. They wanted proof the human was nothing. In the cage, Taemin worked fast. He used the mini welder to make a small loop from wire. He hid it in his sleeve. He took a thin metal strip from the kit and bent it into a hook. He tested the scanner Ji-Yon gave him. It showed weak points on Vexari armor, joints, neck connectors, power packs on the back. He hid everything. Then he sat and waited. Ji-Yon worked in the engineering bay. She felt sick. She knew what she did was wrong. If they caught her, she would lose everything, maybe her life. But she kept thinking about Taemin's words, refusing to lose. She sent a small message to his datapad through a hidden line. Be careful. They changed the rules. Warriors can use the environment too. Taemin read it. He nodded to himself. Min-Sok stood guard again. He watched Taemin through the glass. The human looked ready. Not scared, not angry, just ready. Min-Sok spoke once more. Why do you trust her? Ji-Yon. She could turn you in. Taemin answered without looking. She did not. That is enough. The horn sounded far away. Time for the fight. Guards came. They opened the cage. Taemin walked out. This time no rod. Nothing in his hands. The crowd cheered loud. They thought it was over. Jiyeon watched from her bay. Her mandibles clicked fast. She felt fear. For him, for herself. Min-sok followed the guards at a distance. He told himself he was just doing his job. But his steps were slow. The arena doors opened. Bright lights hit Taemin. He stepped in. 5 Vexari warriors waited. Tall, armored in black and gold. Each held a long plasma lance that glowed blue. Shields hummed on their arms. Their mandibles snapped in challenge. The leader of them stepped forward. "Soft skin," he said loud for the crowd. "Today you learn your place." Taemin looked at each one. He saw their stance, their grip, their eyes. He spoke quiet, but the microphones caught it. "Today," he said, "you learn mine." The crowd roared, but now the roar had a new sound. Not just mockery, a little fear. The horn blew. The fight started. Taemin moved first, not to attack, but to run. He dashed to the side wall. The warriors charged. Jiyeon held her breath. Min-sok watched from the tunnel. And somewhere in the station, the whispers grew louder. The last human was not done yet. The arena was packed tighter than ever. Every seat taken. Vexari from every level of the station came to watch. They wanted to see the soft human bleed. They wanted to forget the drones he broke. The air felt thick with heat and anger. Bright lights burned down on the wide metal floor. 5 Vexari warriors stood in a half circle. Their black and gold armor shone. Long plasma lances glowed blue in their hands. Small round shields hummed on their left arms. Their mandibles clicked loud, showing sharp teeth. High Commander Vexar Kai watched from his box. His 6 arms were crossed tight. "No more games," he said to the leaders around him. 5 against 1. Real weapons, real skill. He dies today. The crowd roared when Taemin walked out. Guards pushed him forward. He had no weapon, no rod this time. Just his torn gray clothes and steady eyes. He stopped in the center. He looked at each warrior, one by one. He saw how they stood. Weight on back legs, lances high, shields forward. He saw the small power packs on their backs that fed the plasma. He remembered every detail from Jiyeon's datapad. The lead warrior stepped closer. His name was War, biggest of the 5. "Soft skin," he said loud enough for microphones to catch. "You tricked machines. Now face us. We do not break so easy." Taemin answered calm. "I do not need to break you. I need you to make mistakes." The crowd laughed hard. They thought it was brave talk from a dead man. The horn blew sharp. The 5 charged at once. Taemin ran, not away, but sideways. He moved fast toward the wall where the floor met the barrier. The warriors spread out to trap him. Vor thrust his lance first. Blue plasma hissed through the air. Taemin dropped low. The lance passed over his head and hit the wall. Sparks flew. A small black mark burned there. Taemin rolled under the swing. He came up behind Vor. Quick as thought, he grabbed the power pack on the warrior's back. He pulled the small release clip Jiyeon showed him on the datapad. The pack sparked. The lance flickered. Vor turned fast, angry. His shield swung like a club. Taemin ducked again. The shield hit air. Another warrior fired a plasma burst. Taemin jumped behind a low pillar that held old arena lights. The burst scorched the pillar. Metal glowed red. The crowd clicked louder. They liked the chase. Jiyeon watched from the engineering bay. Her hands shook on the controls. She had done one more thing last night. She sent a tiny pulse code through the station wires. It would reach the arena floor at the right moment, if Taemin timed it perfect. Min-sok stood in the tunnel entrance. He should be guarding the cage. Instead, he watched the fight. His mandibles were tight. He saw Taman move like he knew every step the warriors would take. This time, toward the center. 2 warriors closed in from sides. He waited until they were close. Then he stopped sudden. He dropped to one knee. The warriors' lances crossed over him. They almost hit each other. One pulled back fast. The other snarled and thrust down. Taman rolled between their legs. He came up behind them. He kicked hard at the knee joint of the closest one. The joint bent wrong. The warrior fell with a loud click of pain. The crowd went quiet for a second. Then, angry shouts. Vor roared. Enough! Surround him! The 4 still standing moved in tight. They raised shields, plasma lances pointed in. Taman breathed hard. Sweat ran into his eyes. Blood from small cuts mixed with dirt on his arms. He looked up at the lights high above, then down at the floor grates. Now, he whispered. In the engineering bay, Jian pressed a hidden button on her pad. A low hum started under the floor. Then, a sharp pop. Every shield on the warriors flickered once. Blue light dimmed for half a second. Then again. The tiny EMP pulse Jian built from scavenged parts hit them. Not strong enough to kill the shields forever, just long enough to confuse. Taman moved. He ran straight at Vor. The big warrior swung his lance. Taman slid under it on his knees. He grabbed the lance shaft near the handle. He pulled hard with all his weight. Vor stumbled forward. Taman twisted. The lance came free. Taman rolled away with it. The crowd gasped. Taman did not keep the lance long. He threw it hard at the nearest warrior. It hit the power pack on his back. The pack exploded small. The warrior screamed and fell. 3 left. They charged again. Taman ran to the wall. He climbed fast using small handholds he saw days ago. Bolts and ridges in the metal. He reached a high platform where old spotlights hung. He pulled one loose. He dropped it down. The light fell between 2 warriors. It hit the floor and burst. Bright flash. Hot glass. One warrior jumped back. The other raised his shield too late. Shards cut his arm plates. Taman jumped down. He landed on the back of the surprised warrior. He wrapped his arm around the neck connector, the weak spot he studied. He squeezed and pulled at the same time. The warrior dropped his lance to claw at Taman. Taman let go and rolled away. The warrior fell choking. 2 left. Vor and 1 more. They circled slow now. No more laughs from the crowd, only tense clicks. Vor spoke low. You fight dirty, human. Taman wiped blood from his lip. You fight proud. Pride blinds you. Vor rushed. His lance burned bright. Taman sidestepped. He grabbed Vor's arm. He used the big warrior's speed against him. He pulled and turned. Vor crashed into the wall hard. His shield cracked. His helmet dented. The last warrior fired a plasma shot. Taman pushed Vor in front. The shot hit Vor's armor instead. Smoke rose. Vor roared in pain, but did not fall. Taman ran to the center grate. He pried it up with bare hands, stronger than he looked. Under it ran thick power cables. He kicked one loose. Electricity jumped. He grabbed the cable with his torn shirt wrapped around his hand. He swung it like a whip. The last warrior stepped back, too slow. The live cable touched his shield. Blue arc jumped. The shield died. The warrior's armor locked up. He fell stiff. Only Vor left. The big warrior stood slow. One arm hung useless. His lance still glowed. He looked at his fallen brothers. Then at Taman. You will pay, he said. He charged one last time. Taman waited. When Vor was close, Taman dropped flat. Vor tripped over him. The big warrior fell forward. His own lance drove into the floor. The plasma tip burned through metal. Vor tried to rise. Taman jumped on his back. He pressed the release on the power pack again. This time it sparked big. Smoke poured out. Kael'vor collapsed. Silence. Taemin stood over the fallen warriors. He breathed heavy. Blood dripped from his hands. His shirt was burned in places, but he stood tall. The crowd stared. No cheers, no clicks, just quiet. Then one worker in the back started to clap, slow. Another joined. Then more. Not the elite. The lower decks. The ones who fix things. The ones who lost faith long ago. Jian watched her scream. Tears came to her eyes. Strange for a Vexari. She whispered, "He did it." Minsok pushed through the tunnel crowd. He ran to the arena floor. Guards tried to stop him. He pushed them away. He reached Taemin. "You live," Minsok said. Taemin looked at him. "For now." Minsok looked at the warriors, then at the crowd. "They will not let this stand." Taemin nodded. "Then we move fast." Jian left her bay. She ran through halls. Alarms started to sound. Red lights flashed. The rebellion began. In the private box, Vexar Kai stood frozen. His mandibles shook. "Lock the station," he ordered. "Find the traitors. Kill the human." But it was too late. The whispers had become shouts. The last human had fought back, and the Dominion felt fear for the first time. They mocked the last human until he fought back. Red alarms screamed through every hall of the core world station. Lights flashed angry red. Guards ran in every direction. Voices shouted orders over the comms. The arena fight had ended, but something bigger had started. The lower decks were alive with noise. Workers who once whispered now shouted. They broke tools from storage lockers. They cut power lines to slow the guards. The Dominion's perfect order cracked like thin ice. Taemin stood on the arena floor. His body hurt everywhere. Cuts bled, burns stung his skin, but he did not fall. Min Seok stood next to him. The big guard held a plasma rifle he took from a fallen warrior. Ji Yan ran up from the side tunnel. Her shell was scratched. Her eyes were wide. "We have minutes," she said fast. "The elite are locking down the station. Ships are coming. We need to move." Taemin nodded. "To the hangar. We take it." Minsok looked at him. "You can fly one of our ships?" Taemin said. "I watched them for years." Taemin said. "In stasis dreams, in cell monitors. I know enough." They ran. Jian led the way through back passages. She knew every vent and service tunnel. Guards appeared once. Minsok fired quick shots. The guards fell back. No one wanted to die for the elite today. They reached the main hangar. Huge doors stood open. Ships waited in rows. Sleek fighters, heavy cruisers, fast scouts. Workers already gathered there. Some held tools like weapons. Others just watched. A small group stepped forward. One worker spoke. "We heard the fight. We saw you win. If you go, we go with you." Taemin looked at them. "We are not here to rule. We are here to break the cage." The workers clicked in agreement. They opened hatches. They started engines. Jian pointed to a medium scout ship. It had sharp lines and strong engines. That one. Fast. Good weapons. Small crew needed. They climbed in. Taemin took the pilot seat. Minsek sat at weapons. Jian went to engineering. She patched systems fast. Workers from the hangar joined. 3 more. They knew the ship better than anyone. The ship shook as engines woke. Taemin touched controls. They felt strange at first, then familiar. He remembered patterns from watching Vexari pilots on screens. He pushed forward. The ship lifted. It shot out of the hangar into open space. Behind them, the station grew small. But alarms followed. Dominion fighters launched, 10 of them, sleek and deadly. Their comms opened. "Last human," a voice said, "surrender now, or die." Taemin answered calm, "You mocked me, now chase me." He turned the ship sharp. He flew low over the station's outer rings, close enough to scrape paint. The fighters followed. They fired plasma bolts. Taemin rolled the ship. He used the station itself as cover, flew between towers and antennas. Jian shouted from the back. I have a plan. The station core is unstable after the EMP. One big hit, and it chains. Minsuk looked at Taemin. You want to destroy the heart of the Dominion? Taemin shook his head. Not destroy. Hurt. Enough to make them think twice. Enough to let others rise. He flew toward the main power spire, the tall tower that fed the whole station. Fighters closed in. Taemin pushed engines hard. The ship shook. Minsuk, he said. Target the spire base. Not the top. The coolant lines. Minsuk aimed. He fired. Twin bolts hit true. Blue coolant sprayed into space. The spire glowed red. Warnings flashed on Dominion screens. The fighters broke off. They tried to block the scout ship. Taemin smiled small. He flew straight at the flagship, the biggest ship in the fleet. It hung like a mountain in space. They think we run, he said. We do not. He turned at the last second. He skimmed the flagship's hull. So close the shield sparked. Then he looped back toward the station. Jian worked fast. She sent a virus through open comms, something she built from Taemin's ideas. Simple code, adaptive. It slipped into the station systems. It made lights flicker, doors lock wrong, drones turn on their own masters. Chaos grew on the station. Guards fought workers now. Workers fought back. The lower decks became free. Taemin flew one more pass. He aimed at the spire again. This time he fired everything. Missiles, cannons, all at once. The hits landed. The spire cracked. A bright flash, then a chain of explosions. Not the whole station, just enough. Power failed in half the levels. Gravity flickered. Air hissed from broken seals. The Dominion fleet pulled back. They did not want to lose the core world completely. Taemin turned the ship away. He set course for deep space, toward old human colony routes, places the Dominion forgot. On the bridge, quiet came. Taemin sat back. His hands shook a little now. The pain hit harder. Jian came forward. She looked at him. You did it. Taemin shook his head. We did it. Minsuk stood. He looked out the window at the stars. I lost family to their wars. I guarded their cages. Now, I fly free. One worker spoke from the back. What now? Taemin looked at the black ahead. We find others, humans, or anyone who wants free. We tell the story. The last human did not die quiet. He fought, and he won enough. Jian clicked soft. They will hunt us. Taemin nodded. Let them. Every time they hunt, more will run. The ship flew on. Behind them, the core world station burned in sections. Not dead, but wounded. The Dominion leaders would rebuild, but the fear would stay. The idea that one soft human could break their pride. In the quiet of the bridge, Taemin closed his eyes. He thought of Earth stories, of people who stood against giants, of fire that never went out. He opened his eyes. Stars filled the view. They mocked the last human, he said quiet. Minsuk finished the words, until he fought back. Jian put a hand on his shoulder. Her shell felt cool, and he is not last anymore. The ship jumped to faster speed. Light stretched. Space folded. Somewhere far away on small worlds and hidden stations, the message spread. A broadcast Jian sent before they left. A simple image. Taemin standing over broken warriors. No words, just the picture, and one line. Humanity never truly dies. Workers watched it in secret. Prisoners saw it on hacked screens. Rebels smiled in dark corners. They could not. Because ideas are harder to kill than ships. Taemin slept for the first time in peace. His wounds would heal. His fight had just begun. In the galaxy, a small fire started. and it would grow.